Hi, this is Mike Kocour, Director of Jazz Studies at Arizona State University, and I'm working with the education team at the Nash in Phoenix to provide some practice tips for the Abota All-State Jazz Festival audition etudes. You'll find that I've recorded each etude twice. Both recordings will be at the indicated tempo. The first recording you will hear is without a click, and then the one after that will be with the click. After both of those recordings of the etude, I'll talk about the challenges within each etude and offer my best tips to help you succeed in your practice and preparation. Here we go. Here's Etude 1 without the click. And here's Etude 1 with the click. I think you will find Etude number 1 pretty straightforward because everything's notated. All the same, go through it slowly, and I always recommend practicing it hands separately so that you can focus on all of the details. One place that surprised me and kind of tripped me up was measure 6, hitting this chord on beat 4. I had to practice it the following way. I would slow it down, of course, and then when I'd hit this chord, I would simply say 4 and then continue to count. So I would make the correct entrance in the left hand in this measure here. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you. Here we are. I'll start in this measure 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Keep doing that slowly so that you understand where this chord falls in the measure. And then bring it up to tempo. 1, 2, 3. 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I hope that helps. Here's Etude 2 without the click. Now here's Etude 2 with the click. Etude 2 provides an opportunity for you to demonstrate your knowledge of chord symbol reading and jazz harmony in general. The way I start working on a lead sheet like this is I experiment with lead lines. If I have a good lead line, usually that helps me fill in and get the chords sounding good. I decided to try the ninth as the first note in my lead line because I saw it indicated in the chord symbol. I moved to the root on the second chord for the 6/9 chord. I'll show you why in a minute. And you can just see how this works. When we get to the D7, I thought I'd put the sharp 5 in the melody, but it's also enharmonically the flat 6. And then to the ninth, and we have some half-step motion. Play through it. Play through this lead line with the roots and see how it sounds for you. You may want to tweak it. The next step for me is to get the thirds and sevenths in place. The thirds and sevenths usually will sound good in the middle. I usually advocate putting the thirds and sevenths somewhere between the D below middle C and the E above middle C, and that's what I've done here. I use roots in a couple of places because they help me hear the chord. There will be people that tell you that it's not cool to play roots when you're playing in a rhythm section. I disagree with that. I think roots are fine. You just don't want to crowd the bass player with a lot of close intervals in the bass clef or your left hand, and I think you'll be okay. So you can look this over. Try it out. And of course, you can hear how it sounds on the recording. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole thing. You're welcome to take a screenshot of that and print it out if you like, or perhaps slow down a little bit and copy it into some manuscript paper. It's amazing if you slow down how much you start to notice. Here's Etude 3 without the click. And now here's Etude 3 with the click. While Etude 3 is fairly straightforward, it is very challenging as well. I actually think all of these etudes are challenging. So do the best you can and try to learn as much as you can from what's in them. I think that's a real opportunity for you. There's some great stuff here. With Etude 3, I don't think you need to worry about playing any chords. It's just enough to play this line 2 octaves apart in both hands. And that's a pretty common technique. There are plenty of examples in the recorded history of jazz where you'll hear, for example, Oscar Peterson using this sound in his piano arrangements. Roland Hanna used this sound frequently when he was playing with the Thad Jones and Mel Lewis Orchestra. There's an amazing pianist named Phineas Newborn who used this technique in kind of a signature way at breakneck tempos. Check out Phineas Newborn. You'll love those recordings. I think his most famous recording, or the one musicians talk about the most, is a recording called A World of Piano. Jeff Keezer is all, and Benny Green is also, both of them are just capable of ripping with this sound. So do the best you can. Practice at hand separately. Write in good fingerings. If you feel like this is too much for you, make sure you can play the right hand consistently at the tempo with the right rhythms and the right notes. If you want to be bold and play both parts together, make sure that you practice the left hand part twice as much as the right hand part. And when you put it together, it really helps if you can play the left hand part louder and the right hand much softer. Because most of us are right-handed, finding a way to really tune into the left hand is useful in keeping this together. It's amazing what the right hand can do with your peripheral attention. Your left hand will need your full attention in order to execute this properly. Whew! Good luck. Here's Etude 4 without the click. Now here's Etude 4 with the click. Etude 4 requires you to put everything together. You'll have to call upon all of the skills that we've talked about so far. Clearly, you have to do some chord symbol realization. You have to demonstrate that you understand the chord symbols and jazz harmony in general to make this work. You also have some rhythmic challenges and some technical challenges. That challenge of playing the same line in both hands comes up here right at the end. I think the first thing that I would work on, though, is internalizing the rhythm of this excerpt. And start slowly. The good news is there's a lot of repetition of rhythm. If you can learn the rhythm in the first two measures, I think you'll be on your way. Let's do a little bit of that together. So I'm going to, I'm just tapping on my chest here, and I'm going to tap my pencil. So I have two different sounds. What you want to be able to do is just play these two measures like this. 1. Like a drummer. And I think it would help you probably to write in the number 1 right here. Where does 2 go? Right underneath the 16th note. And then this is where 3 goes. And you have a rest on 4. I'd go through and very carefully notate where those rhythms happen. Also, you can learn the rhythm from listening to the recorded version. Make sure you can play it slowly and accurately. And then once you can do that, put the whole thing together. So one dot, 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 ba-doo, ba-doo, bop, 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 booby dooby dooby doo, etc. Okay, I think we better look at these chords. They kind of look scary, but the good news is there's a lot of similarity in the construction. If you can construct the first chord, that's going to help you with all of the other chords. Let's look at that. Ooh, I almost forgot. I have one more suggestion. That's right here. Leave the upper notes out in the left hand. Just play the E flat, D flat as eighth notes. No. Instead of that, just go. It'll sound the same, right? I don't see why. I don't. If I play both, if I play it as written, it sounds like this, and it's harder. If I play it just, with these bottom notes, I mean, it sounds the same. It's easier to play. It's going to groove more. Anyway, give yourself permission to edit. So even with all of my experience, I had to slow down and figure out the chords because the chord symbols have a lot of information in them. And I discovered that the chord symbols suggest some very cool shapes. The top three notes of all of, most of the chords, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6 of the chords have the intervallic shape of a perfect fourth with a tritone interval above it. So it's the third and seventh, and then when you get to F13, it's inverted. The seventh is on the bottom. Kind of cool that intervallically the right hand doesn't change when you skip around like that. Anyway, here they are. Check them out. Some pretty cool dominant chords. Basically, I'm just covering the third and seventh and then adding the notes that are indicated in the chord symbol. And that's how I got these. Feel free to add the roots to these chords. I think that'll give you a better sense of how they sound in a functional way. All right, so there are the chords. You can plug them in. It's mostly about the rhythm though. Get it grooving and then get these chords in. All right. If you have any questions about anything that you see in the etudes, in the videos, if there's something I left out, just contact me at this email address and I'll try to catch up with you as soon as I can to help you figure this out. Good luck. Play well, groove hard.